What's the matter, Hangman? Can't sleep?
Cowboy shit!
I need my
Older brother! Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
You are now listening to Dark Side of the Elite with Randy Charpentier, Eric Reed, and Matt Roberts.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Dark Side of the Elite. Matt Roberts here, along with Eric Reed. How's it going, Eric?
Oh, not too bad. You know, another crazy week in the books. What can you do, right?
Yeah, we just got through WrestleMania weekend. We were chatting a little bit about it there. WrestleMania was not too bad. I like the Sasha match at the end of night one the best, but I like night two overall better. If I was to sum it up quick, I know it's not a WWE show, but it's WrestleMania weekend. Chat about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that Sasha match was probably the best match of the entire weekend, Sasha and Bianca. However, yeah, I do agree, like, the caliber was better on night two. The only thing I got to talk about... The only thing I got to talk about is what was with that New Year's Day performance for the Rhea Ripley intro.
Oh,
what the fuck was that about?
That was some of the worst live singing. That made Maki Ito sound like Celine Dion.
That was rough to watch. It was real rough to watch.
Like, the presentation was badass and Ripley looked like a star, but yeah, the mix of the band and like the singing was not good. I don't know what it was, but it was not good.
It's just strange because I've seen like live videos of them before. Like, New Year's Day isn't a bad band. I don't know. I just don't know what happened to her that night. It was just strange.
Maybe like she couldn't hear herself like in the earpiece or something, or I don't know. But yeah, it was not great.
Yeah, it's a little much.
But Wale did a good performance too for Big E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think that might have been lip sync though, I feel like.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You know who actually had the best, and I'll say this, the best performance, maybe I'm a little biased, did you watch Stand and Deliver on Wednesday and Thursday?
No. Oh, NXT? I saw little snippets of it. I didn't see the band though. Who was it?
Oh, so the first night was, I can't remember because I was watching Dynamite and I was kind of flipping back and forth, but second night, the opening act was Poppy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And I don't know if you know Poppy, but she's like,
No.
She's kind of like a Japanese schoolgirl kind of model, like with like the crazy costumes and stuff, but she does screamo. So,
Actually,
so it was like really heavy, like metalcore sort of. Like,
was it someone's entrance music?
No, she was just like the musical guest right off the top. I don't know what it was about, but it was great.
Right.
She sounded really good, and like I'm a big fan of Poppy, so I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh. Yeah, Bad Bunny had a really good showing too, like way better than I expected in the match against the Miz and Morrison there.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. I guess WWE got a lot out of that kind of celebrity association with this one because he actually delivered a pretty good match too.
Oh, and like, yeah, you can tell like he just loves the business in general, right? So he took it very seriously. You can tell like he was, he did his training. I mean, like he wasn't the best out there, but he pretty good for your first full match, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like one of the best like showings of any celebrity match in like WrestleMania history.
Absolutely.
And even Randy Orton was gushing about him, like on the WWE's The Bump, saying like everyone in the WWE locker room was like totally respected like his performance because he put his music career on hold and he was using the practice rings backstage for like hours a day.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. But, yeah, no, it was really good. All in all, like aside from the rain delay at the beginning, which kind of made things awkward for a little while there, like you could tell some of the WWE guys that had to cut promos to fill time. Kevin Owens did a great job, and it looked like Shane McMahon like just drowning out there. You could tell some of them were like able to cut a non-scripted fill time promo, and some of the other guys struggled a bit.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, Owens, you could just give him the mic and he'll talk for hours and it'll be entertaining. He's like one of those guys. He's like a Moxley or an Eddie Kingston, right? Like you just love to hear him talk, right? So.
Yeah, Kevin Owens definitely one of the best. He would thrive in an AEW environment if he got to go out there every night without a script.
Oh yeah, he'd kill it out there.
But just a quick recap on some WrestleMania weekend thoughts. We were chatting about the Stone Cold Jericho interview there a little bit earlier, so we got some audio of that if we need it. But Going on to being the elite this week. Which BT we at now? It's episode 251. There's got to be a change. Double D and gotta.
Yeah, I did like that. That was a nice little touch to it.
Gotta be a change. And we opened this week with highlights from Dynamite this past week with the ending of the Bucks and John Moxley against Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. And the Bucks not wanting to hit the BTE trigger on Kenny Omega. They're hesitant because Kenny's their guy, and that's what this whole storyline's built around. And Moxley, I love Moxley tagging himself in here. You're just like, would you guys get the fuck out of the way? If you won't finish this fucker off, I will take him out myself. So he tags himself in, drills him with 2 brutal paradigm shifts, and puts him in that rear naked bulldog choke. And the Bucks save their buddy Kenny, and they super kick Moxley while he was lining up the 3rd paradigm shift. And Good Brothers and Callis join Young Bucks and Kenny in the ring, and they gather for the too sweet, but they do the click style hug to say the boys are back together again. Really cool moment from this week on Dynamite, and it's going to play a big part in this week's episode of BT. But just a recap from Dynamite, the kickoff this week's being the elite.
Little bit of foreshadowing, I would say, right?
Absolutely. This storyline, like I had been saying the last couple of weeks, I was a little confused as to what's going on, like how they want you to feel about stuff, but there was a lot of clarity like now and more of a solid direction. So I'm really excited about it. We'll get into it later on.
Oh yeah. Well, moving on though, we get to Cutler and Matt Jackson, and they're on skateboards. So I guess we're having the continuation of the skateboard saga here.
They look sweet. It was like a camo deck and like a skulls deck.
Yeah, that's
the grip tape.
That was the grip tape I was talking about last week. I was like, that's really fancy grip tape. I've never seen something like that before. But
That's right. That's why I noticed that after you mentioned it last week.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, I like the whole integration of the whole skateboarding thing coming into it. Like the fact that it was just like to me, it was just like a look into like their regular lives, right?
Yeah, totally.
So either way, you have them skateboarding before Dynamite last week. I guess this was an older clip that they had filmed. And because Matt says, I got a big six-man tag match tonight, and I got to get loosened up and feeling good mentally, so he needs to go for a skate. And they just have a couple shots of Cutler filming him going around Daly's place, skating and stuff. They're very lucky that they have like just concrete like that everywhere all around the stadium, and they can do that.
I was thinking the same thing because I'm so bad on a skateboard, but if I was to want to cruise around, I would want like a big open concrete hallway like that though, to just glide.
Yeah.
Just jump on and kind of just roll and glide where it's not all bumpy like on the streets and the sidewalk and shit. Because I'm not good on skateboard at all, but that looked like it would be a fun like afternoon in the Florida sun just cruising around.
Yeah. Well, he does say it too. He's like, this is the fastest way to get around here. And definitely without a golf cart, I would be skating everywhere around there. You could get from one end to the other to real quick.
Yeah. It's a huge football stadium, right? So if you got to get around that stadium, there's probably like a 25-minute walk or something like that.
Yeah. But either way, they have a couple more shots of Matt trying to land some tricks. He's actually looks like he's getting there. He's giving it his all. You
can tell he's a beginner, but he's trying.
Yeah, he gets the one ollie right at the very end, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he just kind of gives a smile to the camera.
Yeah,
like, I finally got one.
little sloppy, but hey, it still counts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But nice little quick scene there, and then we move on to Matt Hardy cutting a promo on Darby Allin. It's in anticipation of their Falls Count Anywhere match this week on Dynamite, which I'm actually really looking forward to.
I am too, especially after this promo. This was the serious Matt Hardy promo. Like it was just him sitting in the back, and it was no bullshit, no silliness, and like it was really good. I enjoyed it. He sucked me in for this one.
Oh yeah. Well, he kind of touches on a lot of good things in that promo too. Like he talks about how he doesn't pull any punches, right? Like Darby Allin is the person that everybody's talking about in AEW. He is the future of the company because, he does the stuff like where he sacrifices his body every week, you know what I mean? And does whatever he can to make the big pop, which is not unlike the Hardy Boys.
No, not at all. His comparison that everyone throws out is Jeff Hardy, right?
Yeah.
And Darby Allin's wrestling a style that broke Matt Hardy's body down, and he's saying, well, you're going to be the victim of the style I invented, that I popularized, and what's it going to mean when I'm the one that beats you?
Yeah, well,
Even though I'm broken down now, what's it going to be when I break you?
Hey, the truth is the truth.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, Hardy's been doing this for 28 years, right? Like, I mean, Darby Allin's, yes, he's been doing it for a while too. He says only 2 years, but that's really only
14
2 years.
times. Yeah, 14 times as long as you, Darby.
Yeah. But hey, if he does beat him, what does it say about Darby, right? That's Darby. This is Darby Allin in his prime right now. So
right. It was a good promo for Matt, because like you see, everyone watches Matt Hardy matches now, and you can see like he's not what he used to be at all, and that's why he did a good job of even saying that in this promo. Like, I'm broken down from the style I invented that you now use.
Yeah.
And what's it going to mean when I beat you now? So I thought it was a really great promo. He integrated the truth is the truth in there in like a more serious way. Like it wasn't, none of this made me want to like laugh at Matt Hardy or think he's a goof or something. Like, it was good.
Well, the one line I think that kind of solidified his whole Big Money Matt character and how he's like cold-hearted now and stuff like that was the fact that he said he's going to win. People are going to be mad at him, but he doesn't give a shit about what the modern wrestling fans think. And it's like, he's just trying to get that heat on him, and it's working. Like, it pissed me off when I heard that. I'm like, oh, you don't give a shit what we think. Like,
that delivery of those two lines that you just said was awesome. That got me too, because he emphasized like, I don't give a shit what modern wrestling fans think. It was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
I'm pissed.
it brought me in where it's like, he wasn't yelling and screaming, but like the camera was just on him, and it brought me in to want to hear what he had to say. And like, I thought it was a really good promo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if anything, it just made me kind of, excited more than anything for this match. Cause now you got, I mean, Darby's always kind of been a face now that he's with Sting anyways.
Oh yeah.
But there's going to be some cool shit between him and the Dark Order. And Jack Evans and Private Party are all going to be there too. If whoever's not injured anyways.
Right. It's the faction warfare of AEW right now. And like Darby Allin and Sting are kind of like, what do they call themselves? Renegades or ruffians?
Yeah.
Hooligans.
Yeah, hooligans. Yeah.
There are a couple hooligans, and you got Matt Hardy's gang out there trying to take them out. And you got the Dark Order gang kind of sticking up for him.
Yeah.
It's a cool dynamic right now.
Yeah, which you'll have Sting and the Dark Order there. They're all going to make an appearance on that match. It's going to be like, I don't know if it's supposed to be the main event for Dynamite, but that would be a cool main event if it is.
For sure. But next scene, we're back with the boys in the Dark Order lair, and this never fails to make me laugh. These guys are great every single week. We got Alex Reynolds addressing the boys, talking about how this past week's Dynamite went a lot better for them than the week before. Hangman Adam Page over here, he beat Max Caster, which none of them could do yet. But Johnny Silver pipes up and says, well, to be fair, he's never tried. He's been out with the shoulder injury. Reynolds gives him a jab just because he injured his shitty little shoulder. John Silver says, though, he's still jacked up, though. His shoulder's still huge. And they say, well, at least you're not 10. 10 lost to a bulldog and a hip toss. So they're giving him shit. But Preston Vance says Jack Evans cheated, though, and that's why he actually lost. But Colt Cabana's still giving it to 10, saying you lost to a bulldog. A fucking bulldog, man. Who does that? But Alex Reynolds says you shouldn't talk, Colt. And Colt pipes up, says, my mom will have a rap against Reynolds in no time if he keeps talking trash.
I got to ask, did you watch that video? The Max Caster video, High Horse or whatever?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It was like Max Caster and his mom writing a diss track about Hangman.
Really? Where was this aired?
It was on YouTube, and then he came out and cut like another, on his match against Hangman. He cut like another like rap right at the beginning, and it's the return of Anthony Bowen, by the way. Bowen was at the match.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But it was
hilarious.
It was fucking hilarious. He posted like all these videos of his mom helping him write the diss track on Hangman.
On Hangman. Oh my
Yeah.
god. That's why I didn't get it. He was talking. Cole Cabana was talking about his mom. I'm like, what did I? I thought you were supposed to be the dad of the group. So is he talking about grandma?
Yeah.
He's right. He's talking about my mom, your guy's grandma.
Yeah. No, it was,
But,
it was a whole thing, and like his diss track was honestly, normally he cuts like pretty funny raps right at the beginning, Max Caster, like right when his intro goes in. But when
They're
they gave him a
okay,
chance
yeah.
to do the whole song, oh, it's rough. It's
Yeah.
it's so rough.
Was this on like Elevation or Dark or something?
No,
Or was
he
it on
did-
Dynamite? I don't remember.
Yeah, he was on. They fought on Dynamite. They were, I think, were the second match on Dynamite, first or
But
second match.
When was the rap with the mom and everything?
That was released on the Tuesday right before it. It's
Okay.
It's on YouTube. It wasn't on
Right. Okay. It
anything.
wasn't
Yeah.
on Dynamite or something.
No,
I remember
no,
the
no.
match. I remember seeing Bowens out there. Okay. I gotcha.
It was all over Twitter. That's the only reason why I saw it, anyways, in the first place.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But okay, after Cole Cabana is saying his mom will have a rap against Reynolds in no time, Evil Uno is bragging about how he found Sting, and John Silver wants to take credit for it though. He says that he gave out the old "Yo, bitch." He called for Sting, "Yo, bitch," and Sting came out and was like, "Hey, yo, it's me, it's Sting. You guys need some fucking help or something?"
Gabagool.
Gabagool. It's a fugazi. Apparently, Sting or John Silver thinks Sting is Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or something. Just Donnie Brasco over here, which is hilarious. But then Stu, he turns around and notices as the camera pans to the side, again, there's a different girl sitting in Anna's spot on the perch of the couch. Only this time it's Chris Statlander. And he's upset because the boys are like, yeah, like it's always her up there. Like, what are you talking about? Remember, John's always saying, like, hey, Buttlander. And Johnny Silver is like, yeah, I was like, whoa, Buttlander, whoa. And Uno tries to calm Stu down because he's embarrassing him in front of his friends. And this pisses Stu right off. He's like, out of everyone here, I'm the one embarrassing you? Really? And Colt Cabana gets in the middle, tells the boys to break it up. They're partners and they need to be together as one. He's got someone who can help them solve their differences. Like, who's that? Sting? But before he can answer, in comes Alan Angels, number 5, coming over from filming the Sammy Guevara blog. And it looks like he's got new improvement that the boys can't take their eyes off of. And he turns around and he's showing he's got a brand new package down there. No more shrimp dick. John Silver and the boys say, that's a big fucking dick. Who's got the shrimp dick now, boys? And the boys all get right down there around Alan Angel's area there. And Hangman pulls out his phone, takes a picture, and they take the most like hilarious selfie together of all of them just like breaking a pose around while they grab a picture with Five's new member there.
I love it too, because you look over, it looks like he's got a fucking flashlight in his pants.
And that might be exactly what it was. Yeah.
It's so funny though.
And the look on Alan Angel's face too, is he's just grinning with pride, and now he's no longer shrimp dick. He's got the biggest dick in the Dark Order, and
This is his redemption arc right here. We talked about it.
This is his redemption. Yeah.
Fuck, that's too funny.
Dark Order, like they never fail to make me laugh. Like it's so great.
Oh, dude.
It's more like they're not even a cult anymore. It's more like a frat house.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what kind of it is. And I do love how like Hangman, like this is the weird thing, sorry, that I noticed is that Stu is, it's not that he knows it's Anna's spot. This is like a weird progression that I've seen now. It's like he just knows somebody else is supposed to be sitting there. And he doesn't know who. That was like the thing this week. I'm like, how does that happen within a week? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. And the other guys are selling this so perfectly where like they're totally playing it straight where it's like Stu's the crazy one. It's like, no, like there's no Anna. Like that's like whatever different girl. Like who was it last week? It was Ty Conti.
Yeah.
Right. This week it was Statlander. And like Stu's like, no, wait, like that's not who's supposed to be up there. Normally it's the love of his life, Anna Jay, right? Because Anna and Stu have had this thing going on, and oh, the boys are totally making Stu think he's crazy. Or no matter who's up there, they don't know who Anna is. She's never been gone. She was never there to begin with, which leads into the next segment, like later in the show with Stu and Evil Uno's like discussion about this, which is great. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get there. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a really cool storyline. And I've been impressed with like Stu Grayson's personality. Him and Uno are really like showing a lot of personality, and they're actually like entertaining and funny, and it's not like bad acting.
No, it seems pretty good. And not to mention, like, the Dark Order are always good for a laugh, anyways, every week, right? So
Yeah,
like the whole thing with fucking Five getting a new dick. It's like just it's just so out of control. That's why it's so funny. You know what I mean?
yeah. Before we move on, I gotta go pee.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got it.
Up next, we have Brendan Cutler here to introduce this video package that's been put together. Not a lot going on, though. They're just doing test shots for the Inner Circle's new entrance, where they all roll up in brand new black cars. Jericho, of course, driving a Lambo, which is sick. And there's a couple cool drone shots of the entrance being filmed. Some funny faces from Santana and Sammy. And who are the dudes on the motorcycles? Are they part of the thing too?
I have no
or are
idea.
they like guides for the cars of where to drive in or something? Like,
well, when I watched the entrance video, they were just driving around the cars, so I think they were just like extras, like they hired to drive the motorcycles.
they're in the video though.
Yeah, but I don't know I don't know who they are or whatever, and they got a lot of screen time. I'm surprised.
It's probably just cool factor of motorcycles. It's like Inner Circle's Fast and the Furious, or
Yeah.
kind of thing or something, right?
It's
They
all
got
about
pimped
family.
Oh, Vin Diesel and Mike Tyson with Chris Jericho against someone, or MJF and
Yeah.
no, MJF and Vin Diesel against Tyson and Jericho.
Yeah.
How funny was Mike Tyson coming out and
Oh.
laying in body shots on the pinnacle there? I know. He tried to tear his shirt again. I remember last time Mike Tyson tried to tear his shirt and he couldn't get it like all the way forward. He was getting tangled up in it. Thought the same thing was going to happen, but
he looks
I didn't
jacked as shit for his age. So holy fuck, man.
didn't he do like a match against like Holyfield or someone recently? Or who
Yeah,
was it? He had a boxing match against someone.
I don't know if it ever happened. I forgot about that, but I know like he was training like crazy, and I was watching the training videos and I was like, holy shit, like I'd be afraid to fucking get in a fight with that guy at the bar. He would fucking kill you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Still Mike Tyson. Even if he's a little bit older or whatever, he's still Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And he signed on to have some fight back when he was doing this angle against Jericho like a year or so ago, whatever the timeline is. And that was a part of the reason why Tyson and Jericho never had a match or whatever, because he had to go train for this. And then the pandemic hit. And I don't know if the fight happened or not. I feel like it did, but I'm not 100% sure.
It might have. I remember it was supposed to be not Roy Jones, but Tyson Fury or something was supposed to fight him. Because he's like the heavyweight champ right now, right? Or he was. I don't know if he is anymore. But
and yeah, he was on WWE's Super Showdown or whatever.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, right?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But
So
I think the pandemic changed a lot of plans that happened. But it's cool to see Tyson back. And now this time he's on Jericho's team.
Oh, yeah.
And going against MJF in the Pinnacle. I'm looking forward to this feud. The Inner Circle have kind of rebranded themselves as Back in Black.
Yeah.
So everyone's decked out like they're in a modern Fast and Furious motorcycle gang that loves AC/DC or something like that.
A modern fucking gang that's into dad rock.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's awesome. Jericho's kind of won me back a bit watching that interview with Stone Cold, and I've liked the return of the Inner Circle. Like they're ready to come back and kick some ass. I'm looking forward to this feud against the Pinnacle, so I'm all in for it.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's now time for everyone's favorite bit. And we have Nyla, Vicky, and Ryzen selling their church merch.
Church merch.
Church merch.
Matt,
And
you
yeah-
into it? No.
No. But they have a bunch of different superstars pretty much going by and declining them. You got Griff Garrison, Sean Dean, Jungle Boy, and Chris Daniels, who points out Ryzen's gimmick and says, I wish I had thought of that. Now, is that something I'm missing, like from TNA or ROH?
Oh, dude, yeah. Chris
Okay.
Daniels was the fallen angel and totally did like the Antichrist gimmick for years and years. So he comes up, sees Ryzen, who's a total, like, in a lot of ways, it is ripping off the fallen angel gimmicks. Says that, he's like, I wish I thought of that. And then, yeah, Ryzen's like, yeah, well, he didn't.
Yeah, so
It's like, even though Chris Daniels was the OG of like the Antichrist gimmicks.
okay. I didn't quite get that. I mean, it just went right over my head, but I'll have to look into it.
Oh man, yeah, early like TNA Chris Daniels from like 2008, 2009 kind of thing.
That's probably why, because I don't know a lot about TNA, so that's probably where I'm
like the legendary match is AJ Styles, Chris Daniels, and Samoa Joe, I think, in a 3-way match or something, or Kurt Angle, but yeah.
Okay.
And this table though that they have set up too reminded me of like an RPG, like a wrestling game if it was an RPG and you went to the item shop.
Yeah.
It's like they have like a kendo stick on the table and like some gear from TH2 and like a jacket and some sunglasses. So like spend your RPG money to buy like items for your wrestler.
Yeah, spend your WWE coins to get new items. But either way, this fucking thing takes a turn. It seems like it's getting a sponsorship from the Good Brothers, or at least should at least get a producer's credit because
rejected Good Brother segment ideas or whatever.
Yeah.
So they picked it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it kind of feels like. But Ryzen, you see him eating these. It looks like candy the whole time, and he says he swiped some pills from the Good Brothers bag. He calls them Blue Chews.
Blue Chews. This podcast sponsored by Blue Chew.
Exactly.
No, it's not. I wish it was.
I gladly would take a sponsorship from Blue Chews.
Oh yeah. They sponsor every other wrestling podcast. Why not ours?
Which Vicky tells them, they sponsor her podcast, but they're very potent, so you need to slow down on them. Ryzen says, well, they're a hell of a good sponsor if that's the case, and throws down the rest of them. And they're all kind of looking at him like, okay, whatever. And you have the clock passing, like the time. I don't know where they got that video from, but that's pretty cool to throw in there.
Yeah, just the clock. Time moves forward effect.
Yeah.
My God.
And
smoke another one, Matt. Yeah, you know that thing with the clock and they jump ahead in time. Yeah,
you got to ease off the 6 paper joints.
Like one paper.
Yeah. And they either way, they decide to call it a day. They're not making enough money now that the time's passed anyways. And he decides to stand up, Ryzen that is, and something's catching the table, not letting him stand up. So they ask him, are you coming?
What?
But she goes, oh.
Okay, when Vicky Guerrero goes, are you coming?
Yeah.
and Ryzen's just like, actually, I just, maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It has like Good Brothers written all over it. I feel like Carl Anderson was standing off to the side like, yes, good.
Right? Like Brendan, it would be funny if Brendan Cutler walked by. He still got a stiffy from like 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Like Ryzen took enough Blue Chew, his dick should like inflate like a hot air balloon and float away. Like, my God.
Either way, he can't go. He's sat there. It's been a really long, hard day for him. And they can reconvene at the church tomorrow. So Nyla and Vicky leave, and we're left with a shot of Ryzen staring down like this at his junk, like a little schoolboy. I don't know what the fuck that was about, because you see his face like, ooh.
He was stuck to the table. He couldn't get out from underneath it, I guess. But yeah, more boner jokes on BT.
Hey, you know what? They pay the bills. They pay the bills.
I guess so. That Blue Chew money.
Oh man, what a terrible bit though. I'll say that.
I will. These are usually terrible, and this one I actually thought might have been their best one.
Yeah. It says a lot. They had to do cock humor to get it over.
Honestly, for me, it was the Chris Daniels bit that made me pop for it. It's like, oh, I should have thought of that.
Oh man. But moving on, we cut to Stu and Uno. and they're continuing their disagreement from earlier. And Stu is saying that you're not listening to me, and in fact, if you don't start listening to me, I will beat the shit out of you.
You know what was funny too is like the setup for this. I almost thought they were on like the setup Between Two Ferns.
Yeah, that's exactly what it seemed.
It was just like a couple chairs, like a black curtain background, and this was set up really, really funny, and they did great. But yeah,
I'm definitely gonna cut in the clip of like when you say Between Two Ferns of James Franco on Between Two Ferns. When he's like, when Zach Galifianakis is like, would you consider hosting the Oscars? And he's like, yeah, I did twice. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, but that what you did wasn't really hosting. Would you consider doing it properly?
that's cool. What a great show, yeah.
Oh yeah. Either way, Uno's losing it, and he says, "Calm down, Stu. Colt's guy's gonna be here any minute, and he will be able to help us resolve this." And in walks Alex Abrahantes.
Yes.
And
He's killing it right now. I just say as the translator and his like
yeah.
his delivery on everything, like on TV and on this stuff, he's like won me over big time. I think he's great.
Oh, complete 180 for him for sure. Now he's like, I guess because he's always kind of the mediator for Penta. Now he's like kind of a mediator for them, I guess.
He plays this role perfectly.
Yeah. So Uno's happy he's here because they were this close to killing each other. I mean, Stu said he was going to break Uno's neck for God's sake. But Alex is not fazed by this. He knows, let's just get down to business. What's going on? And Uno tells him something by whispering in his ear. And then he starts his Penta says bit. But instead it's Evil Uno says or Stu Grayson says. So, he goes, Evil Uno says, you're the worst human being ever and possibly a slob. He says that to Stu. And Stu just fucking, that's how I'm a slob, eh? Freaking out. And he says to, Alex, he says, tell Uno I'm going to hurt him and there's nothing he can do about it. So Alex turns to Uno and he says, Stu Grayson says.
The funny thing is, like, sorry, I just say Uno's like, what did he say? I didn't hear him. What did he say? I didn't hear him.
I forgot about that.
The reactions of Uno and Stu playing off each other through this were so funny. It was so well done.
Well, I do just love the fact that like it's like you hear what he says and then like he just turns around. He's like, Stu is hurt by the things you've said. It's like you're neglecting him. It's like it's not at all.
Evil Uno is like hands over mouth, like gasp.
I know. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I'm so disappointed. I love it too. He's like, tell him I'm really sorry. And he turns to Stu again, right? If there were a ranking system for douchebags, you'd be at the top of the list.
He's just like, yeah. And he just totally buries him right to his shit. And Stu freaks the fuck out. Oh, yeah.
He just starts snapping and fucking, it's going back and forth like this, And
if you want to do this, let's do it here now. There's nothing that will stop me from beating the piss out of him.
That part's so good. I forgot about that. He's like floating in and out of the French Canadian accent, but it comes out when he's angry, and it's so funny.
They're great together, honestly. Like Stu and Uno, like if they could get this like character and this like back and forth between them onto TV, like I think it would be great.
Yeah. Well, I always just think it's funny that Uno's the one talking now, like more than Stu.
And and he's really funny and like clever and creative. Like he's got a personality with the mask and everything, and the way like his mannerisms and the like everything. Like and Stu too, like playing off each other. It's like a psycho freak out guy that will beat your ass.
Yeah,
I totally buy it. It's great.
But that's the thing. Like when I used to see them all the time at like, indie shows and stuff like that, when they were Super Smash Brothers, Uno never said a word. He was always just the silent guy. He was the guy who would like go crazy and beat your ass, but he would never say anything. So it's kind of strange just to see him be like, the face of the tag team. Right? It's kind of cool.
Be charismatic kind of and speak. Yeah. It reminds you of like El Generico, like Sami Zayn spent 10 years as a mute.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't speak at all, and then now he's one of the most charismatic like guys like going in like WWE.
Oh, speaking of which, I don't know about his whole crazy conspiracy character though. I don't know about that.
I like it.
It's funny. It's funny, but
it's funny. It's different, and he does it well. It works for him for sure, and it's not just like he's not the biggest muscular guy in the world or whatever. He has to get off on like character and personality, I think is great. But
Yeah.
as an aside,
Yeah, no worries.
yeah,
Either way, wrapping up this skit here, basically he tells him, you know, they have to discuss things, take a walk and discuss things, you know, come to a gentleman's agreement. And so Uno says, yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Give him this for me. And he shakes his head. But when he turns around and does that to Stu, Stu thinks he's like, all right, so we are fighting. You accept?
yeah.
So they get up to square up. Well, he gets up to hug him or talk to him. Uno does.
Yeah.
And Stu turns to him with his fists up like, let's go. And they say, you know what? Let's go beat the crap out of Butcher and Blade, and all is forgiven. Like you see Stu jump over the table, like climbing over it. He's like, yes, Butcher, Blade, let's go.
Yeah, I know he does. He takes off like an animal, like a monkey, right? He jumps up there and just runs away. It was like, well, I thought this was so funny, like the back and forth and the way they sold, like Uno, like hearing it, like the broken telephone thing with Abrahantes as the translator in between. I thought they did it perfectly. It was so good.
Oh yeah. I don't know if like Alex is coming up with these bits or not, like because it seems like they're like his brainchild. That's why he's in all of them, right? You would think.
I don't know if it's any one person. This seems collaborative, I guess. I could see like because the Dark Order comes up with a lot of their stuff, and then I guess when they incorporate other characters into the stuff, like I guess I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit of everyone.
Yeah. But
I'm just guessing. But
it's good to see him doing more than just a Spanish announce table or Penta says. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, like because we were like at least I was critical of a lot of the early like not speaking Spanglish ones. Those are okay, but like the beginning evolutions of Abrahantes as a character and like the bits they did, not all of them were hit, but like lately I think he's really finding his groove as a character, specifically himself, and everything he's been doing with Pentagon has been great. I thought this was really good. They did the Cobra Kai bits that were really good.
The Nightmare on Elite Street was really good. That was really good.
Right. I was criticizing when he was just drinking purple Kool-Aid, but we had never seen any interaction between him and the Dark Order. And it was kind of just weird segments that weren't hitting. Even in this one, right at the end, after Uno and Stu leave, what does he do? He grabs a drink of the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
He's sipping on the purple Kool-Aid there. So just another little link to that even. But I think really well done.
That's subliminal advertising, by the way. I want to go pick up Kool-Aid jammers now.
And some Blue Chew.
And some Blue Chew. No reason.
Some Manscaped and whatever else shit.
Harry's razors. You know what I mean? Oh, man.
Okay, moving on here to the end of Being the Elite today, and something I think has been great. We have a repeat of the clips from the top of the episode with the Young Bucks and Moxley match against Kenny and the Good Brothers last week. This time, though, we get like a really cool, dramatic, epic musical montage of all the clips of the past Being the Elites, breaking down the story between the Young Bucks and Kenny, how we've got to this point, and including sliced in clips of early footage from Being the Elite, of the origins of the Being the Elite, of Kenny and the Bucks back in Japan a few years ago, talking about how they were supposed to change the world together. We see the Golden Elite t-shirts with Kenny and Kota Ibushi with the Bucks, and that whole talk of what changed the world meant and how it ended up being changing themselves and changing their own lives and creating AEW. And I really enjoyed the touch of they sliced in the clip of John Moxley's debut night at the first Double or Nothing with the Young Bucks and him going for the Shield, and then like snap out of that clip. And you show when the Bullet Club reformed a couple months back, all the two suites in the middle for the photo shoot. And what does Kenny say? Just like the Shield, eh, guys? And so it tied in so perfectly with this tag match on Dynamite with Moxley and the Bucks now. And we go to Kenny and the Bucks backstage in the dressing room, and we're almost looking at them from the point of view of, say, like the dressing room mirror. So we're looking out at them, and Kenny begins to speak to the guys in a really subtle, not somber, but quiet, purposeful tone and a purposeful promo. There was no goofy Kenny, crazy voice Kenny, acting like an idiot. No, This was very much reminiscent of what I've heard Jake Roberts and Chris Jericho talk about, where if you talk quietly and slow and with a purpose, you draw the audience in, you draw the viewer, and now they have to shut up to listen to you, kind of thing. And I thought Kenny did a really good job with this. So he starts giving them that passionate and moving speech. And Kenny asks them how long it's been since they've sat together like this. And probably not since they were in a New Japan locker room. Kenny says that he remembers saying the last time they talked like this, when things were unclear and when they didn't know where they'd be and where they'd go, that as long as they stuck together, that they would be okay. They said that they would change the world, and they did. Kenny means it was their worlds that are different, but what does that really even mean? The world changed for us, and the people sure changed, because we're whatever we were before, and all the people who followed us and wanted to be like us, they've turned on us. Now all they hear is about how this guy's better than you, or that guy's better than you. You're washed up and overrated. How many times did the Young Bucks have to prove themselves? And how many times did Kenny have to have the best match of all time? And at the second that isn't, they go out there and not have the best match, we're nothing. We're washed up. People would be happy if we died or broke our necks or died tomorrow. We have go away heat. They want us and our promotion out of business. Now, when Kenny was saying this, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, who's saying that?
Yeah, I didn't quite get that either, but like, it ties in with the whole narrative, so I just kind of like wrestling logic,
like,
like it's like
it's almost like Kenny and Don are brainwashing the Bucks to think that all the naysayers are saying they're all washed up and not what they used to be, and they want them to all die and fold and close up shop. I guess that's the angle they're going for, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that, but
no, I hear
you. Kenny goes on to say that I changed the world, but to do that, I had to change myself, and that maybe I don't like the person that I've become now, but as long as I have you guys, I'm fine with that. But when Kenny looks at the Young Bucks, I see what I hate about professional wrestling nowadays. Kenny talks about how he's not happy about what he does, and neither should the Young Bucks. Kenny only does it because he has a responsibility to be the best and embarrass anyone who thinks that they are on our level. Kenny thinks it's time to show the world out there who they are inside rather than put on a mask and hide it. The Young Bucks don't need to play games or wear frillies or tassels or all the colors. It's not you now, and it's not where we're going. And this is when Kenny picks up the Young Bucks gear, their tights, and he's showing like the colors and the tassels on this. He's like, enough of this shit. In my mind, right away, I'm a gear nut. So I'm like, okay, are Kenny and the Bucks going to go like, I mean, the Inner Circle just took the back in black look.
That's what I mean.
So it's like, are they going to have new gear, look like a team now, like have matching elite gear or something, or change their look or something?
They can't exactly take black and gold because Private Party have that either too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they could, but
Private Party would have to change before the elite, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this made me think of something Chris Jericho said on the Stone Cold interview the other day, how every time you go from babyface or heel or change your character, you should change your look too. And because now it's fresh, it's new, it's different. You move on and evolve. And like, maybe I'm totally like overanalyzing Kenny literally holding their gear saying enough of this color frilly shit.
Yeah.
That maybe they're going to have a new look now, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I could see that though, for sure. It would make perfect sense if because they're not fully going heel, but they're kind of riding that line. They need like something to differentiate themselves from like the kid-friendly, like family-friendly Bucks that they are right now, right? So,
which is what Callis and Kenny has been pushing the Bucks to do, and even Brendan Cutler is saying, "Remember you guys in Japan? What are you guys now? Now you're just, I don't know, the corporate wrestlers that you used to claim to not be like, or whatever, right?"
Yeah. Which is funny because everybody chanted "you sold out" when they kicked Moxley. So I don't know if they're corporate now for joining Kenny or they were corporate before. I can't tell.
Yeah. See, that kind of goes in like, I get the storyline they're telling. Some of it has been kind of confusing, or you could try to poke holes in or whatever. Overall, like I get it and I like it. But if this means that now, I just want to know if this new elite Bullet Club unit is officially together, or is there still going to be that tension? Like if there's a 10-man tag match, Is there going to be tension with Luke Gallows and Matt Jackson, or Callis and Nick? And like, is there, or are they a solid unit now where they're going to have matching gear? They're a unit for a while. There's no this potential breakup. I don't like you, maybe like tension there, or is that all out of the way now? Because it seems to be, because at the end of this, the Bucks nod at each other. They don't really say much, if anything at all.
Yeah.
They listen to Kenny, and it seems like they nod in agreement, and they're on the same page now. So this seems like a fresh start for them as a group, and that this underlying tension of aren't they teammates or friends is now put to rest.
I don't know if it'll ever change between Matt and Don though.
Right.
Maybe Nick and Don.
There's layers to this. The 7-layer dip of wrestling psychology.
I mean, Nick kind of just does whatever Matt tells him to do. So like, you never know really like what could happen there. But like, I could see that blowing up and being eventually like either Kenny has to choose Don or the Bucks or something like that. I could see that being down the road. Like it's gonna still draw out for a long time, and they'll be a team for a while, I think. And
this is always stuff that 6 months from now, you pull the footage from moments like this and all the weeks leading up to this too, to still explain stories of dissension later on down the road. But this is like the Elite storyline is something that's been going for so long now, and they still keep finding ways to keep it evolving, and I commend them for it. I think after kind of a rocky kind of middle part of this story, I think they've got me back invested heavily, and I think it's back on track. My big question is, if they are all together, who are they against? I guess it's Kingston and Moxley.
Yeah.
Because even in the promo package, I forgot to mention, like, when Kingston comes running down to the ring, like, I love Eddie Kingston. When he comes down and frantically trying to save John after John is like laying the fucking beat down on Kenny and all that. Like, that's great. They got me hooked. So
too bad he caught a magic killer right on the ramp. Boom.
Yeah. And like Moxley and Kingston might need to recruit some backup here if it's going to be 5-on-2 or something. So maybe we'll see that coming up. Maybe it's Christian.
Maybe it's the Death Triangle.
Death Triangle.
Because they're kind of free agents right now, right?
Well,
I don't know if they
free
are.
Agents. They're their own group. Faction Warfare, they have their own group, but it's just the three of them. Although they have Laredo Kid too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Death Square.
I feel like eventually you're going to see Pac break off from that, though, because he's the only one who I find, well, not the only one. They all kind of have like their own solo thing they could do on their own, but I feel like Pac has to kind of be on his own, like a lone wolf sort of thing, right? Eventually, but I think there's a lot of life and legs left in keeping them as a group. Yeah.
Because they did try the Death Triangle thing once. The pandemic killed it for a year, and Penta, and then they were in the Kingston family. Now they finally just brought it back, and they've had a few great matches, but they still haven't had a chance to really get into any deep storylines that are, really memorable yet. So I think there's legs there, but Pac has definitely got a singles thing on his own. But right now in AEW, it is gang warfare time, and everyone's in a friggin' faction.
Yeah. For sure.
Right. And then you have Sting and Darby together and Moxley and Kingston together.
That's a whole other thing too. Cause like there's so much, it's not hard to keep track of, but it's just, there's so much going on right now. And I'm just interested to see on which storyline is going to take the spotlight. Obviously right now it's the Elite. In my mind, it's like, that's the number one story every week in my mind.
It is, and with like supplemented with now the Inner Circle versus Pinnacle. That's going to be a huge gang brawl. Like they're doing the blood and guts match.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
That was supposed to be the Elite versus Inner Circle, like before the pandemic hit, and then now I guess it's going to be Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle in what is going to be a bloodbath.
Oh yeah, gonna be a lot of blading,
a lot of blading in that.
Hopefully one of them isn't bleeding out there like fucking Gold Dust. We'll see.
I know. I said too bad Dustin Rhodes isn't in this match. When they do Nightmare Factory versus QT's buddies.
Yeah.
he had a name for it. Was it the Factory or something, or
something like that? Yeah.
The Training Factory or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
It's such a weird storyline, but like,
QT's troops.
but it is good because like all those guys were kind of. I mean, like Anthony Agogo is kind of like was getting a little bit of a push, but like Camarado, he's always just on Dark. He's not doing anything, right?
And Aaron Solo is the other one, right?
Same thing. Yeah, he was on Dark too, and like so it's like now you're getting a push to the main roster. You know what I mean? So
it's good for them, especially. I think Camarado, like he looked good in that match he had against Moxley a while back, and he's a big guy, and I could see he's got something there. I think he's good. I don't know much about Aaron Solo. Apparently, he's a veteran, but I don't know too much aside from a few matches we've seen on Dark. But Anthony Agogo shocked me when I saw him there because I didn't know he was gonna actually work, like wrestle.
Yeah,
because he was commentating on Dark. It's like, I'm British boxer Anthony Agogo. We're here to commentate on Dark. But like, I didn't know he's in there fucking doing the Mike Tyson on guys and shit. And right, he's bronze medal, like gold medalist, bronze medal Olympian.
Yeah. Well, I think he's been training with QT and all them and shit like that now for a while. So
right, which makes sense.
He's probably gearing up to have a match. Like he'll probably be like a good like Dark Elevation guy or a Dark guy, you know what I mean, for a while, and then
he's part of that group. Yeah, he's part of that group, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's in some 6-man tags against Cody and Dustin and who do they got on their side still?
The Gun Club and what's his name?
Lee Johnson.
Yeah, Lee Johnson. Yeah.
I was gonna say Lee Marshall, but no.
Yeah,
they're great. Lee Marshall, WCW announcer, and also the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Oh yeah, legend, absolute legend,
absolute legend. Rest in peace, Lee. Still, but yeah, all in all, good stuff happening in the world of AEW. Great episode of BT. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, like, it was kind of weird for them to go back to the longer segments now, right? And having more segments, because like we haven't had an episode this long in quite a few weeks, right? So
just shy of 20 minutes.
Yeah, which is good because like they filled out the second half of it with the Elite storyline, and not to mention that speech from Kenny. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, I urge you to go watch it. We try to recap it as best as we could, but it's different when you watch it. It was very impactful, very good. Sorry, I thought you were gonna go on.
No, sorry, I didn't want to step on your toes. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, like I said, though, it was really good. Not to mention the Matt Hardy promo was huge. It seems to be BTE is sort of becoming like almost a continuation of Dynamite for a lot of it, which is good. Mm-hmm. I'm liking that because it's kind of really pushing these storylines that you might not necessarily get the full picture on Dynamite.
It makes me care more about matches that are on TV. Like, you have more storyline behind them and more explanations and more character development, and that there's only 2 hours a week to get on Dynamite, right? So there's so many guys on the roster with so many angles and groups and feuds and storylines. So shows like this are so important to really build the characters and storylines and nuances and little things you see in a match. And you're like, oh, I get it. This means that because of this and that I've seen on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, like even look at like someone like Nyla, Vicky, and Ryzen there with their thing. I mean, Nyla, a couple weeks ago she had that. Oh, that was almost like a month ago. Now that I think about it, she had that match with Shida and Maki Ito and like the triple threat, I guess, or was it? Or
was it person? A Revolution pre-show or something, or wasn't it? Or...
No, there was the match. She had a match at Revolution, but then never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
it was a while though. I know. Yeah.
There was one right after Revolution where she had like against Britt Baker and Shida and all them and stuff. So it was good to see like think about that. When's the last time you saw her on Dynamite though? Probably like 3 weeks. 4
when
weeks.
Maki Ito came out singing and dancing on the stage and they're all brawling around the ring.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, like it's good for she's getting time like kind of to showcase a character. Kind of getting like something like Ryzen. I haven't seen him fight at all on Dynamite in like months, right? So
see, like there's still a big disconnect between the Nyla Rose and Vicky and Ryzen on BTE versus when Nyla Rose has a match on Dynamite. I don't think she's coming out in the nun outfit and stuff like that, right? Like, there's no.
Yeah,
Is there
no,
any,
she's still doing the native beast thing, right? So,
right?
yeah,
Like,
it's,
there's no connection. Her and Vicky aren't coming out there like dressed like nuns and trying to like sell merchandise for church money and stuff. It's like, so there's a disconnect still there, but in that storyline, but it's still giving her an outlet and opportunity to showcase some personality.
yeah. I think she'd be good if like they started doing more bits. Like, remember how they did like the Among Us bit like a couple months back?
Yeah.
Something like that would be good for her. Where like, cause like showcase your Twitch channel, because I know she's very big on Twitch, and like same with Uno and people like that. Like that whole crew was like great for that.
Yeah,
right? So
they were hammering their Twitch and video game stuff like incessantly for a little while, and like I guess they've kind of stopped for now, but that'll come back around again. I think you're right.
yeah. But other than that, it was a really good episode. I was pretty impressed with it. I thought it was better than last week. Other than, last week you can't be topped the Dark Order bit. I don't know if it could be topped with the shrimp dick getting fucking squished, but
Oh man, when 10 stomped on that shrimp, I laughed so hard.
oh yeah. But other than that, it was really good. And yeah, I do like the progression of the Elite storyline.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen this week. I don't know if they're like, I don't think they have a match this week, right? But I'm sure there'll be some cool promos on Dynamite tomorrow. So
Yeah, and Dark Order's got tons of matches on Elevation and Dark as always. There's so much content. I can't keep up with all the matches on all that stuff, but I try to a little bit here and there. But yeah.
I tend to go back and like just watch certain ones. Like I never watch it really live. I'm usually doing something else. But
oh yeah. That's the beauty of it. At least you can watch it on demand, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, though, pretty good. I never had an issue with it. So
Yeah, I thought the Matt Hardy promo, the Dark Order Lair stuff, and specifically the Stu and Uno sit down with Abrahantes, I thought was awesome. I thought the Matt Hardy promo, like I was just saying, was really, really good too. And the Kenny promo at the end, along with the video package with all the highlights spliced in of the Shield salute and everything with the Moxley against the Bucks and Elite, I thought was really, really great. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was one of the better ones in a while. And yeah, thumbs up for me.
Absolutely. So, Matt, should we roll into the thank yous? Because none of us know how to end an episode.
You got any thank yous, Eric?
Absolutely.
We don't know how to start an episode or end an episode. Randy, we need you.
Well, hopefully in the next coming up a couple weeks, Randy will pop on and say hi. He's doing okay. I just talked to him actually this morning. He's just going to be off for a little bit dealing with some stuff. So, but hopefully he'll be back as soon as he possibly can. So,
yeah.
But in the meantime, if you can, give us a follow on Twitter at Dark Side of the E, Instagram at Dark Side of the Elite. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, you name it. We're on there, Dark Side of the Elite. Also check out We the Dark Order North, and on Twitter at We the Dark Order 1. You can give me a follow on Instagram at eric.reed90. I'll put all the links for everything in the description. But as always, stay classy. Matt, do you have anybody or anything you want to thank?
I hope everyone had a fun WrestleMania weekend. I hope you're enjoying all the great professional wrestling going on as much as we do. Thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. Till next week, stay classy, San Diego. A whale's vagina.
Join us.
Put the paws up.